You got 7 tattoos of him on your body.
Yeah,
he
I
pulls
can,
away
like,
and you don't care.
You can do what you want. Like,
Ma'am, no. Hi my love, it's your regular lady girl from Run Away. We have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I'm coming to you all with a Now That's, girl no, not Now That's TV, with a Zeus Network, Blueface and Chrisean Rock, Crazy in Love. I'm guessing this was a little season finale. That's what we're gonna call it. That's how they kind of gave it up. So listen, the episode comes on. Zeus Network gave us a recap like they always do, and we see Chrisean and Blueface in the home, and they're getting together. Like, you know, she's like, I don't know what to wear, I gotta do my makeup, I gotta get myself together. And Blueface is kind of moving around kind of hurriedly. I'm like, well, where are they going, girl? She pulled out her little majorette outfit. I'm like, okay. I like to see them in their natural habitat, so to speak, you know what I mean? Blueface is rubbing Cantu in his hair, and you know, she's filling in her eyebrows. They got the dirty mirror like everybody else, you know what I mean? Like, they just seemed really kind of normal. They're almost out the door, and she's like, where's the bottle? Where's the bottle? I'm like, girl, do they go anywhere without a bottle? You know what I'm saying? Do they go anywhere without a bottle? Pull up and they're going out to eat, and I'm like, are you serious? They hop in a Lambo, they do all this, they pull up to a restaurant. I'm like, y'all did all this to pull up to a restaurant, but I'm like, keep in mind, you know, they making TV, girl. They are making TV. So they go to the restaurant. I'm just like, they really kind of did all of this for this, but you know, we're playing along, right? She goes into the restaurant, they sit down. She's like, sit next to me, Blue, sit next to me. And he's like, oh, I feel like if we were on a date, it would just be a little bit different, you know, like we'll sit across from each other. And she's like, no, but you already feeling me, right? And I feel like, girl, that's on me. Like, when you've been with your man for a minute, y'all don't sit across from each other. Y'all sit next to each other. That's very much a real thing. Like, why are you sitting over there? Sit over here, babe. Like, that was cute. They are drinking Casamigos out the wine glass. She got her chaser in the other cup. Just very niggardly, you know what I'm saying? They just keep it real, I guess. Then Blueface starts to question her about, oh, so you follow the evil twins. The evil twins are his mom and his sister. And he's like, I mean, they don't really look alike, but you know how it is, like when the mom, you know, and the sister, they be in cahoots with each other, girl. So he's like, yeah, you followed them. She's like, yeah, Blue, so what? Like, yeah, but are you cool with them? Like, so you followed them? But he was saying it, like, pressing it in his way of, like, why would you follow them? Because it's going to make him look bad, because I'm assuming he's not following them. So he's like, oh, so you cool with my mom and sister again? And she's like, Blue, what do you mean I'm with you? Like, that's all I know. That's all I care about. But so they talk and they say things, but I'm more interested in the things that they're not saying. So by him explaining, oh, so you cool with my mom and my sister now, whatever the case, and she's like, Blue, what you mean I'm with you? And then she follows up with the same question, so are you cool with your mom and sister? He's like, oh no, I would never be cool with them. And then her immediate sentence after that was, I'm just gonna unfollow everybody. I was just in the studio, I was just following everybody. I didn't mean it, this, that, and the third. Just giving very much, I didn't tell you to follow my mom and my sister, so why are you cool with them? Oh, that's the team that you're riding on. And I think that you know, that sense of loyalty and control, heavy on the control, still plays a part in the whole conversation of why are you so mad that she followed your sister and your mom. You get what I'm saying? It's just, you know, those little small things that you that you pay attention to. Start with the whole, I want to F-U-C-K, I'm, you know, horny, let's F-U-C-K. And she's just like, you know, Blue, let's go home, I want to have S-E-X, and, you know, all of these things. And he's just like, yeah, me too, you know, I'm a little interested in that. You know, we're gonna see the second, third. And she's like, why? Because when you're upset with me, when you're beefing, you don't like to have sex. It doesn't matter if I'm beefing with you or not, I still want to have sex. Like, you know, just, you know, that whole little spiel of being, you know, so available for your man. She don't give a damn, she just want to sex him up. He looks kind of like, yeah, I'll get to it when I get to it, you know, depending on how you behave. That's kind of like he be rationing out the peen or something, I don't know. But I really think it's just that he just be like, you know, he know that it's there. He knows she ain't going nowhere, so it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna give it to when I want to. And then that's when they mention the whole therapy thing, and this is the whole setup for the scene, you know, can they go to therapy? He's just like, you know, therapy is for people, therapy is not for people like you, is what she said. She's like, you don't need therapy, babe, you're perfect, you don't need therapy, I don't need therapy, and you don't need therapy. And Blue is kind of leading the scene with, like, you know, he has this nonchalant air about him, and I think that, like, it works out because it's like he's not really trying too hard, he's not really acting, he kind of just, you know, says it in this way that's like, yeah, well, what do you think about this, what do you think about that? And you know, it was cute. She's like, babe, you don't really need therapy, you're perfect. Like, he's like, no, I think I want to do it. You know, that was the whole play of them going to the restaurant to set us up for this whole therapy scene, which we're going to get into shortly. She starts crying. I don't know why. It's just, you know, she cries to her. I don't know, I'm just emotional. Like, at some point you got to give a better answer than just that. At any moment you just break down and just start crying for no reason, and it's just, I don't know, I'm just emotional. Like, what are you going to get? Like, girl, come on. They get into the conversation about his being monogamous. She's like, I don't want to be your girlfriend, I'm your rock. And I just feel like, you know, their relationship, this whole girlfriend boyfriend, like, you know, I'm your rock, is like this persona. You get what I'm saying? Because you very much want to be his only girl. You want to be his official girl, okay, Cassie? Okay, official girl, I want to be the one of any, however that song went, you know what I mean? She wants to be his official girl. But then she eats his food, she tries his food, and she didn't like it. She like spits it out. First she tastes the bread. This is disgusting. I mean, like, how disgusting is bread, Chrisean? Then she eats his food. She didn't like the food, and she's like, I'm sorry, babe, this is nasty. He says, oh my gosh, you know, you're the worst date. And she's like, babe, take it back, don't say I'm the worst date. Like, oh my gosh, she took everything that he says so literally. Like, she's so sensitive when it comes to him, which, you know, for real, y'all, I'm a little emotional myself. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong now, but golly, he can't even play and joke with you. Everything gotta be so serious. And I'm like, oh my gosh, take it back. Like, girl, clearly that's like, you have been his only date. Like, stop it. I don't know, it just gave me like, you know, she's very much into going to a restaurant. I don't know, Blue, I'm just fine with chicken nuggets and french fries. Like, girl, up that up a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Like, stop it with the bullshit. They leave the restaurant, and she's like, I don't want to take any food anywhere because, you know, it was the same chef who made it. And they hopped in a Lambo drunk. I'm like, you know what, Zeus, just liability after liability at this point. It's just a mess over there. So then they pull up to Dr. Ish, little rented out suite, because I'm sure that wasn't his office. And, you know, Blue comes in, and he's wearing this blue suit. He's like, I like your suit. I mean, that was pretty funny because, you know, the guy kind of laughed and chuckled a little bit. It was cute. So the doctor explains that, you know, he's going to do individual sessions, and then he's going to bring them in as a couple. He's like, I'm from the South, so we're going to start with ladies first. Girl, she come in. First of all, she had this big bottle of, I don't know, Patron or something with the Red Bull. And, you know, having worked alongside of plenty of therapists, I will tell you that most therapists will not see any patient when they know they're under the influence, just under the integrity clause or whatever the case. They will not see a patient who they know is under the influence. Even if you come in and you don't have a bottle, you know, in your hand drinking and sipping, if they come to understand and to know that this person is intoxicated or under the influence, they will cut the therapy short. And I feel like just a little bit, because a lot of black people are going into therapy now, which, you know, we should, y'all. There's nothing wrong with it. I just feel like it's giving off the mixed signals that, like, yeah, you could just do anything with old Dr. Ish. And I'm sure, you know, a check was involved. Okay, I'm sure it was a check involved, because y'all remember that therapist we seen with Joseline Hernandez? You know what I mean? These private contractor doctors, they be trying to give the girls therapy, looking at they, you know, tatas. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like Dr. Ish, we seen him on different shows before. I think he was on girl, that show that Gangsta Boo was just on, a few of them. You get what I mean? But I just want to just put that out there. Like, any therapist with integrity is not going to see a patient under the influence. Now, a part of me, the black side of me now, sometimes you need to meet people where they're at. I'll just leave it there. Somewhere in a balance is where the truth lies. It gets up to leave. She's like, babe, let me hit the blunt. Let me hit the blunt. Like, are you serious? She felt like she just seemed so weird, like, just uncomfortable with sitting with her own emotions. She's so emotionally immature. Unbelievable. A little bit about it. She says, you know, you kind of got to go numb a little bit. You lose yourself when you're in the limelight a little bit. He asked the question of what's good between you and Blue. Like, what's good right now? And she stalls. She's like looking away, like she doesn't really know. She's laughing and giggling, which is like that nervous laugh, that nervous response when you don't know what to say. And then he says, well, it's very telling that you can't tell me what's good in your relationship. defense mechanism kicks in. Everything's good in our relationship. Okay, so then tell me what's bad about the relationship. Drawing the blank again. She says eventually with a lot of prying that, you know, I have to go numb in situations, you know, when I see him, I don't know, like kissing a girl on Instagram or something like that, I have to go numb, you know, but he's a good dude, and I end up flipping out because I have to catch his attention, you get what I mean, like, and then I end up blowing up because he's not giving me what I want, you know, but he's a good dude, he has a great heart. And she's just kind of talking a little bit, you know, getting her emotions out there. She's like, I'm trying to just chill out that because I'll be in jail like today, and I'm trying to like get it under control. And you know, the therapist is like, well, it seems like you have to fight, you know, fight for a lot, you know what I mean, like you have to do a lot of fighting. And she like, yeah, well, it is what it is. You know, it is cool with me. I had to mention like these flip outs. He's like, yeah, because you don't really flip out like you flip all the way out. And she's like, yeah, no, I don't flip out that much, like it don't be like that, like it don't be all like that. Like, girl, baby girl, what are you talking about? Yes, it does. The delusional is real. Delusional queen, like, what are you talking about? You don't flip out like that. Yes, you do. Then he tries to, you know, go into a different direction because she wasn't biting on that, which is like, well, you know, you have to go through so much, it really sounds exhausting. This girl talk about she like a challenge. I ain't gonna lie, babe, he was over here laughing at that. He liked that answer, huh? You like a challenge, babe? She says, you know, she likes a challenge, and she's just really just deflecting. She doesn't want to talk about any of her deep emotions with this man. He asks a really important question. He's like, you know, if you could snap your finger and change the relationship that you have with Blue into the perfect relationship, what would you change? What would it look like? She can't even answer. She can't answer. She's like, oh my gosh, do we have to continue? Do we have to talk about it? And it's telling that you can't even describe the type of relationship that you want with this man. She's deflecting. Well, what you asking for? Why does it matter? Like, girl, because that's what we're here for. Then she takes a drink. She like, what you looking at me like that for? Like, just a mess. All in all, it came out that she wants him and her to be together, and she wants a family. But that took a lot of pride. She talks a little about the abuse that she's endured, you know, the homelessness, her mom being drug addicted, nobody really showing up for her, and, you know, kind of like how it played a toll on her. She was talking about, you know, how she used to get beat as a kid by her stepfather when, you know, he would line them up against the wall. And I just feel like, you know, if you black and you had some siblings, everybody got the line up beat up, you know what I mean? The line up beat down, the line up beaten, whatever, you know what I mean? Everybody, not everybody, because I said something the other day about everybody go through it. Y'all all, not all, but y'all know y'all dragged me for it, so I ain't gonna say everybody. Most people have experienced the one person did it, we all get a beating situation. Most black kids. But hers sounded a little bit more in depth, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just really kind of an abusive situation, and she kind of laughed it off and chuckled it off, like, yeah, you know, he was just like, I guess you were terrified as a kid. She's like, no. He's like, well, you had to have been scared if you were a child getting beat by a grown man. Like, she can't even admit to the wrongdoings that the adults played, you know what I mean? Like, it has nothing to do with you. You don't have to be so hard and tough all the time because you grew up in a physically abusive home. It wasn't her fault. She doesn't have to play hard because her mom was drug addicted. It had nothing to do with her. She was a child. It was out of control, but still, you're so in this persona to be so hard. But y'all, that's not what we're doing. That's not what it is. It's nothing. What's really hard is being able to express your emotions and to be vulnerable. That's really the hard part, you know what I'm saying? To be honest, completely honest with you, to you know, not realize that people have abused you, to cover that up with just, well, I'm rock and I can take it, is really just more harmful for yourself in the long run. You know, he goes into, you know, well, that must be, you know, you must be carrying a whole lot since you feel like you haven't even done, you know, the adults haven't done anything wrong. You're just dealing with a lot. And she's like, no, I'm not even dealing with a lot because, you know, I just give it to God. I just give it to Jesus. And y'all, I just really want y'all to get out of this chokehold that religion has y'all in. Okay, yes, you can pray. Yes, you can meditate. Yes, you can do all of these things, okay? And I'm not saying anything to the Christian girls, to the Muslim girls, to the spiritual girls. Listen, there is nothing wrong with your spiritual or religious practices, but stop saying that Jesus will fix it, Jesus will take the wheel. Meanwhile, y'all kids is in the back room doing a whole bunch of shit, contemplating suicide. Sometimes it's okay to enlist professional help. Black people, please, let's get away from that. Just think about all the shit that we've gone through generationally. You don't think we need a little bit of, and I ain't talking about help from Karen now. You know, be mindful, use your discernment, but there's nothing wrong with getting professional help from people whose values are aligned with yours. Period. I'm moving on before I get on my soapbox. It's Blueface's turn. He comes back into the room. Same thing. I like your suit. That was really funny. That tickled me a little bit. They sit down and they talk a little bit about the relationship with the mom. He says he doesn't really have a relationship with his mom like that now. Now he's closer to his father. When he was younger, it was kind of reversed. He also goes in to say that he was, you know, on his own between 17 and 18 years old. He talked a little bit about his football career, which I feel like, I don't know the backstory about his football career, but he was a quarterback for some school in North Carolina. Rock gets her name because she's a rockhead. She doesn't listen. He mentions that like she's not, you know, he deals with it by not dealing with it, but the more I don't deal with her, the more that she gets triggered, and you know, the more, you know, the ball just continues. He's like, I don't know how to, you know, deal with this. She was just like, well, I noticed that she doesn't really take accountability. Is that like a common theme? He's like, yeah, doc, thank you, you just said it right there. I feel like Blueface was let off a little bit easy in that therapy session because Blueface is controlling. You get what I'm saying? And let me be very clear. Like, yeah, I'm a little more critical than most on Chrisean because I don't feed into, you know, all of the things. I just, you know, call a thing. But Jonathan is very much, you know, an issue as well. His might be more subtle because he's not kicking and crying and screaming. But he does a lot of things that are toxic and red flags. Then Dr. Ish says, you know, what about the tattoos? What's up with these tattoos? He's like, yeah, you know, honestly, you know, I'm kind of into it. It feels good to be wanted in that way. And then he goes on to say, but it's, you know, it's not that sustainable. And Blueface talking about some what? The tattoos? No, dummy. He's talking about the relationship. Like, stop playing. Like, are you serious with that? What I like about Chrisean, and he just says, you know, I like how affectionate she is. I like how she shows me love, which I feel like that is, you know, a big sting point in their relationship for both of them. I feel like maybe he was, you know, missing some affection from his mom growing up because that shit seemed like it's too much, period. It says that Dr. Ish says that you need to recognize the patterns so you can call the plays. You get what I'm saying? He then concludes that I just want her to grow up. I just want her to grow up. And that was kind of like the end of the session. The doctor brings them in. Oh, y'all, sidebar, follow me on Instagram, period. Because I'm trying to do some things on Insta. And I follow back. Just let me know. So she brings her in. They sit down. Oh, but before they bring her in, you know, they kind of were talking. He walks out, and you know, he's trying to get some water. She's like, "Babe, you're not drinking anymore." He was like, "Nah, I thought you brought it all, or whatever case." He said, "No." He said, "You're not getting drunk no more." And he said, "No, I thought you got it all." He was like, "Nah, it's right here. Come on, drink some more." I feel like that's that trauma bonding. Like, we're gonna bond. We bond differently when we're drinking together versus when we're sober. Like, she wants to keep him in that party scene, in that party lane, because when you're not partying and it's just me and you, then what? You know what I'm saying? You're not taking a shot with me no more? Oh, no. Here, take the shot. Like, be on my same wave. You get what I mean? She was talking to Blue, and he just looked irked, like looking at her like, girl. You could just tell in his expression, like, this girl right here really don't get it. So, you know, she's like, yeah, he was trying to ask me all these questions. He was trying to bait me with all these questions. And I wasn't paying him no mind. Like, I was just in him like, yeah, I'm not like no ditzy bitch that's about to be in therapy. Like, oh yeah, no, cause no. Like, girl, no. No, you got it backwards, sis. Now, granted, I understand you got the cameras on here, or whatever the case may be, so take it with a grain of salt. But then, even then, people will fall in love with people's stories. You get what I'm saying? People want to know your story. That's your story. That's why you've come to, you know, increase your stardom, so to speak. That's how your star has risen, because people connect with your story. So you sitting up here thinking like, you know, I wasn't trying to get all my information, trying to be all dumb, but you look dumb by answering those questions and deflecting poorly, might I add. I just feel like there is power in a woman that knows how to articulate her feelings, and the fact that she's unable to do that is kind of like negative again, you know what I mean? Points. I feel like a lot of people have either really loved, you know, their love for her has risen, and then some people kind of diminished, and I'm on the latter end. Anyway, They go back into the therapy session. Girl, it was just like yin yang yang. I'm about to just wrap it up. Long story short, she sits on his lap and he's like, you know, what are y'all gonna do? You know, Blue, what do you want from her? What do you want from him? And doctor talks about the tattoo. She's like, why do you have his name tattooed 7 times? And she's like, oh, because I love him, I'd be bored. And then he was just like, that makes no sense. It really makes no sense. You have his face tattooed on your throat. What does that mean? And she says, it means that I'm his. And he said, yes. Why don't you say that to him? Why can't you say that? And that's like so real. You have this man's tattooed on you 7 times and you can't articulate to him why? Come on, girl. Stop it. So, you know, she's like, he was like, turn to Blueface and tell him, you know, how you feel, whatever, like, what do you want? And she's just like, I feel like when you deal with other women, you know, it makes me feel like you are compromising our relationship. But he literally had to pry it out of him. He's like, I already know what he's gonna say. He's gonna say like, you know, it doesn't matter. And it really doesn't matter to me because I love him so much that I'm just gonna take him back anyway. So it's really no point. And Blueface is just sitting there just looking at her like, it was just a mess. You know, I really don't know what to make of it. You know, we've all been through this whole, you know, pregnancy fiasco. Then, you know, they was just showing me some video of her fighting somebody in a pink tracksuit. So who knows what that's about. I didn't even have a chance to look at it. Girl, it's just a hot mess. This was our little season finale. All in all, this show was beneficial to Blueface because, y'all, honestly, we were dragging him. We were starting to drag Blueface. Oh, he's terrible. Oh, Chrisean this, Chrisean that, girl, do better. Jesus love you. And what would Jesus do? All type of shit. Now we're starting to see where it's on both ends. And I think that people are kind of holding her feet to the fire a little bit more. And I feel like it really shed light on who he is as a person, like his kind of demeanor. He's kind of like a really chill, kind of laid back guy. And Chrisean is really like, you know, the one that's like firing off and stuff. Now, granted, you know, people pick and choose and curate their images online. And I think that, you know, you can only hold up that image but so long. But I think that this show favored Blueface more than Chrisean. What do y'all think? Drop down in the comments. I mean, I feel like I understand more of their relationship. But all in all, I feel more sympathy for Blueface right now. Like, I don't want to say sympathy is not the good word, but my views have changed. I'll put it to you guys like that. What do y'all think? Drop down in the comments and let me know. Y'all, make sure you like this video and subscribe because it helps me on the YouTube algorithm, okay? Period. Like this video and subscribe. As always, I'm sending you much love and much light, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.